Alright everybody, welcome to another episode of Control Breakers.
Yay!
Ooh, it's more regular. Oh,
Yes, much
so,
more regular.
yeah, Joe, we got three topics we're going to talk about here.
Sounds
Fez,
good.
Bioshock Infinite DLC, and then The Last of Us, because you finally beat it.
Fine, I beat it last night. I can't believe I waited so long to basically just to get I couldn't even get a physical copy. I had to download a copy for $60 and delete a bunch of shit off my hard drive just to make room for it.
So, here we go, hey Joel, if you were an indie developer, right?
Uh-huh.
And a bunch of your stuff all came from indie, and, you know, you're just suddenly this big guy, right?
I was
And
in a movie maybe a little indie game in the
yeah,
movie.
yeah. If you were literally considered one of the big trademarks, like this is my hero, he's done what I want to. Now, what would you do if someone asked you legit questions and you suddenly just freaked out on them so bad that you cancel your new game because you're a bitch?
Yeah, well, again, if you haven't couldn't tell from, the clever wordplay we've done, we're of course talking about Phil Fish's now, I think, infamous meltdown that he had on Twitter, to where it all basically ended with him going, taking his ball and going home and going, "No, no more Fez 2.
Yeah.
Fuck you people."
Hey, you know what really pisses me off about this asshole, right?
What?
Is magazines highlighted him and stuff out of their way, like a Game Informer and stuff.
Right.
They went out of their way to talk to him when he was nothing, when he was
Yeah.
literally scum, that people didn't even hear of any of his games. And they came back to him and were like, hey, could we get an exclusive? And he told them to fuck off. You know what, man? Go fuck yourself. Seriously? That is such a low shit to do. Like, you know, we've had people that helped us, and reposted
Indeed.
us, and like Manic Expression and stuff. If they
Good
ask me
people.
for anything, I try to make sure. And as you guys will see, we're going to be producing an exclusive show for them. I will
Yes, soon
help them in
enough.
any way. I will never tell someone to help me get where I am to go fuck themselves because I think I'm better than them.
You gotta give a little to get a little, man. It's like I'm not much of a religious man, but I do believe in karma, and I believe that shit does come back around
Yeah.
eventually. So I mean, it's really just a sad scene there, where it's like, he acted like a dick, people on Twitter acted like a dick, and it all ended with, a very childish kind of, no, no, I'm taking my ball and going home. But again, too, you would think, working on the internet in any capacity, you would think he would have a thicker skin at this point, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
it's the internet, man. Trolls live by trolling and hating. So,
Yeah, really, it's what they do. It's just a really surprising thing, to where you're like, damn, really? And again, too, you can only imagine that, there's some other people out there, some other indie developer, who is just, wringing his hands right now and going, good, get him out of here. I have a game I want people to see, and
and
I'm a nice guy.
what really pissed me the fuck off is if you watch that video from the YouTube video of the conference, right?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
that little Asian guy goes up and he's like nervous to talk to him. He doesn't speak good English, right?
Right.
He puts his heart out there to talk to one of his heroes, and the
Hmm.
guy straight up shits on him. That
Yeah,
is
damn.
disgusting.
A
Like,
little bit, yeah.
this guy literally, he flew all the way from Japan to see his hero who he wants to be like. And
Yeah.
that is so scummy. Like, this is a business ethic that, at its worst, I could possibly imagine. Like, just,
Yeah, I
get
mean,
the hell out of here.
it's one of those things too, where he didn't exactly have the best reputation to begin with. Now, I haven't seen Indie Game the movie yet. Have you?
I have it, but I have not seen it. But my friends that saw it, and I actually have a friend who's a game developer. He got offered a job at Zynga 2 years ago and turned it down because of
Oh,
their
really?
corporate policies.
Uh,
I talked to him about what he thought when he saw this because he met him. He was absolutely disgusted.
yeah, because apparently even the movie that is featuring him prominently doesn't exactly paint the best picture of the guy.
Yeah,
And I mean, from what I can see and from what I've read about him, he does put out that whole kind of tortured artist thing. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, if you're gonna be an asshole about it, it's like, come on, it's like no wonder no one will want to deal with you.
seriously.
And especially after pulling this freak out like you did, I don't know how you would backpedal from this.
Right?
And it's stupid too, because it's like he's really only hurting himself in this thing too, where it's like, no, you people made me
Yeah,
mad, so now I'm not going to continue my dream of making video
yeah.
games.
Who's gonna want him? EA? Is that who's
Uh,
gonna want you? Like, get the fuck out of here, you know?
And again, too, it's like, we get some shitty comments from time to time, and we've been known to blow up every so often, when it's that straw that breaks the camel's back.
Right.
But never have we been so mad that we're like, no,
It's
we're going to
quite
stop.
clear the only time you will see me freak the fuck out is if you directly insult my family, my daughter, or my wife.
Yeah.
Anything else, it's joking. I don't care. You're trolling. But if you try to dig up personal info on me and you go that far, that's when I'm involving authorities. So it's
Which,
just
again,
messed up stuff.
but again, too, it's like, we've been doing this long enough now where we're just kind of like, oh, God, great, this guy again, just, ignore, block,
Yep.
whatever. And you would think Phil Fish, you would think a level of success would have thickened up his skin a little bit. And I think one of the tweets that he sent out that really pissed people off was, that old Futurama adage, the whole, compare your life to mine, then kill yourself
Uh-huh.
type deal, where I'm like, I can see where you're trying to be funny, but even still, it's like you didn't need that extra one.
Nope.
Yeah, so that's the Phil Fish thing. That was the big thing that's been going on.
I am absolutely disgusted by him, and I will never buy another game unless he publicly comes out and begs for an apology. It is disgusting. Like,
Yeah, so that's the big news that's been going on the gaming side of the internet. It was one of those we had to talk about it because everybody's been talking about it recently.
mm-hmm.
Rage Select did a thing on it. Heck, freaking Jim Sterling did a special episode of his show just to address it today. That's how big it is.
Yep. So, all right. Next step is I haven't even looked up on this because I want to get my reaction legit on here. So, what is this Bioshock Infinite DLC? What are we getting, Joel? Oh, I'm so excited. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, actually, this is the second piece of the DLC. The first thing was
Oh, that
actually,
was crap.
the whole you didn't like the whole battle arena thing.
Come on, Battle Arena. Come on.
I don't know. It could be. I mean, I'm not gonna buy it, but I could see how it might be fun.
Come
But of course,
on.
okay, I'll come on. That's not the one we're talking about. The big one we're talking about is this big DLC called Burial at Sea. And basically what it is we're going back to Rapture. But we're going back to Rapture, but we're still Booker DeWitt. And this is Rapture before the fall of the city. So this is
Joel,
Rapture when it was
shut
actually
up
looking
and
at.
take every single money I have right now. I'm telling you right now. Just take
It
it.
it looks pretty genius. And again, we're Booker and Elizabeth again, but as you know, which are going to, mild spoilers if you haven't played Bioshock Infinite yet. Uh, the end of that game, we saw the, infinite possibilities of all these infinite worlds that exist. And this is one of them. It looks like Booker DeWitt is playing like a 1940s Humphrey Bogart style detective. And he's trying to get out of the city. And the woman who's going to help him is a femme fatale version of Elizabeth.
That sounds amazing.
It does, and it looks like freaking Adam and all the other classic.
When is this shit? When can I play this, Joel?
I don't know. Did they have a release date yet? I'm looking at the big article here, and I can't see the release date yet.
Ah, must get it.
It looks pretty cool. And again, I'm sure a lot of people are like, well, oh, isn't this just a retread? Going back to Rapture, I want to see more Columbia. I'm like, well, who says we're not going
Yeah,
to?
who says we won't? It's infinite realities.
Yeah, and not only that, but how cool is it to actually get to see Rapture back when it was pretty
In
back
its heyday.
in its heyday? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And again, too, we're going to be seeing Elizabeth again. We're going to be seeing Booker again. Do you think we'll be seeing Songbird or the Lutece twins or any of the other characters? Maybe.
Probably.
Up
It's
in different roles. That's actually kind of amazing because, as comic book fans, we're big fans of the whole, alternate universe fiction.
Of course we are.
Where it's like, what would these people have turned out like if it was another?
Exactly.
And so I'm totally down for this.
Yes, take my money.
We are down for this. This is probably gonna be cool.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. So I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
And from one Troy Baker voiced main character to another.
So The Last of Us. Now I know you watched pretty much every possible review on this game before the game came out, or before you ever played it.
No, I didn't. I tried very hard to stay away from the reviews.
I thought you were. Okay, now did any of that mumblings that you heard affect what you thought of the game in the long run?
Not at all.
Good, okay.
I am proud to say that most of the reviews, even though some of them had, a point there where it's like, a lot of the game's mechanics are like find a ladder, find a platform. right there, it did not affect me in the long
Yep.
run.
To me, it was all about the story. It's a video game, and a video game needs to have video game mechanics.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
when I really sat down, I played this, which I've been wanting to talk to you about for fucking I don't know how long now.
Forever, because it was the one time I actually didn't go out and get the
Yeah.
game the first day it came out. Then it sold out country fucking wide.
Now, to me, this is my game of the year.
It's pretty damn good. I know it got so many 10 out of 10 so quickly that you could only enter what I like to call the backlash zone, and this happens every time something gets super
Every
popular
time.
super quick.
Everybody loved Avatar, and then it got a lot of good movie score. Now everybody hates Avatar. I hate that.
It happens all the time. It happens a lot with games, but it happens with movies too. And it is something I would like to get out there. The backlash effect. It can only get so popular before people feel like they need to take it down a notch for
Yeah,
whatever
now we
reason.
got to start hating on it because it's good.
Because it's good. Yeah, I mean, it's a game that marries action, stealth, horror,
It's
all in a great
I'm
way.
not giving it a 10 because I think it's perfect in every way,
Yeah.
because it's not.
No, it's
I'm
not.
giving it a 10 because the ending, which I never saw coming,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
the character of Joel in that game is so humanly disgusting that I have never literally loved the character so much to the point that I actually hate what he's doing, but I can sympathize with him. And my personal connection came from spoilers, guys, if you don't want to, if you haven't played it, seeing his daughter die and how he goes, you're being a family man myself and what that would do to me.
And having a
And
daughter, yeah.
I understand 100% at the end when he does what he does when he lies to her.
Yeah.
I understand. I literally, I could not, I would feel the same way for him. I felt connected to this game unlike any other game I played probably this generation. Maybe only coming close to Red Dead Redemption for me.
Characterization is really where this game flourishes, where so many other games break. Which again, people are like, oh, the story was, cliche zombie apocalypse. Yes, it was, but the way in which they handled it was new and interesting.
Exactly. I know people are just zombie this, zombie that. I'm like, no. You haven't played the game. Stop saying that.
They pretty much rewrote the book and made their own zombie mythology. Because again, you're fighting infected, these mushroom cordyceps people. It's one of the few games in a while, and this is going to sound like the craziest thing that I liked about it. It had the best flashlight of any game
Oh my god, yes.
I've ever played, and that the flashlight factored into it. That when you were fighting human enemies, you had to shut it off.
Yeah,
because they would obviously see it, know where you were.
It's the minor details that this game gets right.
So many minor details.
And the first time my flashlight is running out and it's telling me to shake my control, I'm like, wait, what? And then he even mentions, he's like, oh, I guess I gotta shake my flashlight to recharge it. I was like, what?
Fun fact about that, I don't actually have anymore one of the official PlayStation controllers with the 6-axis thing.
Uh-huh.
So it kept doing that, and I'm like, oh, fuck. So I got even more crazy in that game in the dark periods, because I couldn't turn my goddamn flashlight on.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was basically playing it on extra hard mode because it's like, hey, you got one battery, so you better do good with it.
Right. And I love the aspects of the game that other games, they're like, oh, if we had a cannibal in this game, we're going to tell you it's a cannibal. No. They play around with it, but they expect you to be an adult.
Yeah.
So when the guy's trying to feed her human, he's like, it's not human, I promise. I was like, oh, it's fucking human, you disgusting shit.
Fun fact about that cannibal guy, David, that's Nolan North. Did you know that?
I thought it was, but I was like, I don't know, and I didn't want to go look up the IMDb's for stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nolan North and Yuri Lowenthal are all over the game in the voice things, but in that one case, that was Nolan North trying his hardest not to sound like Nolan North. Which is hilarious because Nolan North is, of course, Nathan Drake, the big hero of Naughty Dog's other franchise, Uncharted, and this is really about as far away from Uncharted as you could get. And I like that about it, because, I've often said one of my biggest problems with Uncharted is that I could never like Nathan Drake as a character.
Uh-huh.
I loved Joel, and I'm not saying that just because his name is my name, too. Who am I kidding? I'm totally saying that.
I love the characters. I love the world. And you know what? What my favorite part was? When they released DLC, give me more of this. It wasn't fighting. It wasn't the action. It was the world. I would go to every corner, try to find every tag, look at every single poster, and how about how detailed the world was?
It's so detailed. There are rooms in this game because, again, exploration is important because you're crafting all your own weapons. There are rooms in this game where there's nothing in them. And I know you're thinking, well, why that's a big deal? Because that's insanity from a game design point of view to build a game where there's rooms that serve no purpose.
Not only that, not only did they go that far, right? They take it that one step ahead where every desk, every single poster, every single picture will never double unless it's something big like a movie. There was
Yeah.
not one poster of some guy's family that ever doubled through the whole game.
Yeah, that is
Other
insanity.
games will reuse resources and assets, not these guys. There was literally just a building hallway filled with open doors. You can
Yeah.
go in and get the details, get the little like. And I've been wanting to talk about this moment. This was the moment in the game that made me like just go, holy shit! I get what they did. They didn't tell you. They didn't beat you over the head with it. When you're in the sewers, right?
Yeah.
Just that one scene where you're walking through, you're looking through stuff, and you see this like blanket or some blood on it,
Yeah.
and there's like
Yeah.
that guy just dead with a shotgun. You're just like, oh, doing your thing. If you look hard enough, you find the note, and it's a note to his wife about how he has to put the kids down.
Yeah, and not only that, but when Joel actually picks up a note and reads it in the game world, he'll actually say something, and you will have, case-sensitive dialogue
Yep.
depending on the
And,
stuff that you
and
read.
when that note actually happened, Shay was watching me play, and we both looked at each other. We had the same. Oh my fucking god! That's the exact thing Joel said in the game. The
Yeah.
humanization in Naughty Dog games is the best I've ever seen.
Oh
They
yeah, there's
they understand human emotion. That's it.
yeah, and again, not in like a David Cage way where it's like, look how many polygons on the face, look at them move, which don't get me wrong, are fucking amazing in this game. There's scenes when, Joel is looking directly in the camera and I'm like, God damn, that face is fully
Yep.
realized. Stop looking at me with your human eyes, Joel.
Yep. Now, for me, this generation has come down to, I think, four games I have given a perfect 10.
Hmm.
The one of them being Bioshock Infinite.
Pretty
It's
damn
still
good.
very high on there. Bioshock 1,
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Guild Wars 2 because it evolved MMOs to the point of now this is the new standard.
I haven't played much of Guild Wars 2 recently, but I should.
And right there has been Uncharted 2 because I think Uncharted 2 showed what you can do with interactive gaming as not just a game.
Uh,
I think The
I,
Last of Us to me is better than all of those.
I have had my prejudice, against Uncharted and whatnot like that, but, a game like this reminds me why I love Naughty Dog so
Yep.
much. Which it's just like, God damn, Naughty Dog, you guys are cool. And it's like the whole story aspect of it too. I like the idea that it's an apocalypse game that's not about saving the world. It's about saving Joel.
Exactly. It at the point, just where the game ends and what a terrible person he is. I
That's
love
a
it. I love
it's
it.
it's a ballsy ending to do that. A really ballsy ending
Yep.
to end it the way they did. Like I literally I beat the game last night and I sat there with the control and I literally had to sit there and think for a second. Like I'm
That's what
like
happened with me.
where I'm like, how do I feel about this? And most games don't do that. Most games do the Mass Effect 3 thing, where it's like, okay, now we gotta hit you over the head and be like, hey, look, and here's all the stuff that happened, and here's this, and oh no, the fans didn't like it, so now we need to
Yep.
go back and
Now,
over
I
explain it.
don't know if you saw the interviews with Naughty Dog and all of them. When they play tested different endings, that was the ending that everybody hated, and they said, good, that's the one we're going with because we don't want you to like him. He is a terrible person, and that's the moral of the story. I was like, it's so true.
And
He
what's great
sacrifices humanity's only hope because he
to
is
save one
selfish.
girl. Yeah,
That
yeah,
is amazing.
that's
And
really
honestly,
something.
as a father, I would do the same thing. I would not let my daughter die.
Yeah, and
That's
the cool thing about Ellie, because obviously we've seen a lot of games like this where it's like, oh, an old grizzled man must mentor a young girl. We saw it in Bioshock Infinite. Hell, we saw it in The Walking Dead. But what they do differently here, and what I'm so happy they did differently in The Last of Us, is they don't make you like Ellie right away. You grow to like Ellie as Joel, the character,
hmm
grows to like Ellie. Because
well,
even at first, I'm like, oh god, she's annoying. Don't tell me it's another annoying kid psychic. But by the end,
yeah, she's no Ashley from Resident Evil 4. I can tell you that.
no, not at all.
Now, how about did you notice all the little subtle nods to everything? Like
Oh
the
yeah.
the main one I really like was at the beginning of the game when the event happens. when
Yeah.
his daughter is shot, his watch is destroyed.
Yep.
And he keeps it on, and every once in a while, he'll glance down at it and then glances down at Ellie.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
that
very
connection
subtle.
of that is my daughter. And she even mentions it. She's like, why the fuck you wearing that broken watch? And, he doesn't respond. And at the end, when she knows the full story, she understands what the watch stands for. And that moment for me was like, oh my
Oh,
God.
it's a great moment. And not only
Oh,
that, but the one thing that I say The Last of Us has over stuff like Bioshock Infinite and The Walking Dead is you actually get to play as Ellie, and you actually get to kick ass as
oh
Ellie.
yeah.
And I appreciated the shit out of that. I really appreciated the shit out of that. I enjoy. I like too that the villains in the game were like cut and dry villains.
Yeah.
There wasn't like ooh, the evil military industrial complex or like the mustache twirling Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
Yeah,
Yes.
Joel versus Master Blaster.
Uh,
It was very, and even more so. I mean, obviously, Joel and Ellie are the big focus of the game. They're featured on all the covers and everything. But there's some really great supporting characters
yep. There
throughout
really
this thing.
are.
And what's amazing about them is that, I'm very big on themes. That's the thing I love. I'm a very thematic person.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about every person you meet is they reflect a different thing in Joel. Like they all represent a different path his life could have taken
Yep.
had things gone differently. And I'm like, this is so good. And they don't come out and tell you it, which is nice.
Oh yeah. I absolutely love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and New Game Plus mode. How many times
Oh
have you heard me
yes.
complain that
Yes.
not enough games have fucking New Game Plus mode? This game has a New Game Plus mode, and I am super psyched for that.
Oh yeah. Love it, man. So in the end, what? Because I want to do a specific, and we've been playing this. I want to do a Naughty Dog podcast, which we
Just
will
little.
do down the road. Just talk about Naughty Dog. But what would you grade this game?
Again, it's like so many people throw around a perfect score,
Mm-hmm.
and like I almost feel like it doesn't even need it at this point. Like, I mean, it gets my highest recommendation. Like, if you have a PlayStation, because again, it's an exclusive. I mean, if you have a PlayStation, you haven't played this yet. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, do it. Just
And if you're a
friggin' play it.
hater just because I know I got a bunch of my friends in personal life who are just Microsoft guys, and they're just hating on this game without even touching it. Like, oh, it's typical shit. I'm like, oh, good, you've seen Yahtzee's review. Good for you.
You know what I'll say? You know how when people say about books, where it's like, oh, this is a must read, it's a much whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's a must love, but it's definitely a must play.
Yep.
Like you should check this out and see what they're doing.
Agreed.
Just because like some of the stuff, like from a game design point of view, is just like, wow, man, wow.
I agree. It gets my highest must play. I want people to play this. People should enjoy what this has become. It's not just gaming. It's human emotion. It's everything that games have been striving to do. Every developer's been trying to hit this point of, oh, here's realism. Here's something you'll care about. No, this is what you care about.
It's even more than that. The thing that I would say, just from a storytelling standpoint, I think it hits pacing in video games almost perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Because I notice a lot of games that we play recently, the pacing is totally broken. Here they do a great job of keeping the
Yeah,
story
you want
moving.
to talk about shitty pacing and shitty gaming? Resident Evil 6.
Oh, well, everything is wrong with fucking Resident Evil 6.
True.
That's one of its few problems. I remember someone said it's like, hey, no, but they came out with a patch that fixes the camera. I'm like, oh, yeah, because the camera was the biggest problem in that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, now I can see how shitty this is. I really appreciate
I
this.
appreciate what you guys have done for me. Thank you.
Oh, geez. Now I have a bird's eye view for you kicking me in the nads.
Oh,
I appreciate that. So is that just about it for this show? Do we have anything else we want to
That's
say?
about it. Go play The Last of Us if you haven't already. Give it a chance. If you're a Microsoft fanboy, don't hate it just because you're not getting it as an exclusive.
Yeah, just give it a chance. And again, don't be like me when you play. Get an actual Sony controller so you're not playing it on extra hard, groping around in the dark, getting eaten by the one-hit kill enemies.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back with some more.